You're tuned to the Archdiocese of Lusaka Youth Network, and we are back again with your favorite show, the Life Matters Show. Today, we discuss the topic child protection. And so today we are joined by the director of the Zambian Society for Child Protection, Mr. Nicholas Malaya, who is going to help us discuss this topic. Join me as we discuss. Mr. Malaya, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. I'm delighted to be here.
Thank you. So as we begin our program, Mr. Malaya, what prompted the formation of this society and how is it different from the other civil societies that do similar works to your organization?
All right. Thank you so much for that beautiful introduction to us. In 2012, we had occasion to visit the one-stop center at the Pediatric Center of Excellency at the University Teaching Hospital, where we were exposed to cases of child sexual abuse, young children that had been recently abused, and got to learn of the extent of the scourge. So the cases, the enormous cases that we found there were those that are occurring in Lusaka. So going forward, we began to ask ourselves what we could do to help mitigate that problem. Secondly, the Catholic Church has, through its highest office, directed that child protection should begin to reign high in the development of children. Using those two perspectives, we resolved to form the Zambian Society for Child Protection.
Wonderful. So would you help us with highlighting the goals and objectives of your organization?
Absolutely. Number one is to work directly with the survivor and the family to assess emotional status and problems following a report of sexual abuse or molestation, and assist with measures to mitigate detrimental consequences and promote recovery. This is very important. The second one is to support timely forensic examination and investigation to prevent the loss of evidence. This is crucial in that as a crime, we want to ensure that we don't lose any evidence, so that the presentation of the case in court is nearly foolproof. The third is to support initial and follow-up medical care, which I alluded to, and the timely administration of HIV PEP. Okay? This is PEP is post-exposure prophylaxis. This is necessary. The fourth is to provide education about sexual abuse, which I alluded to as the information that we take out to the community. And it's important that this general awareness is given to the community. I think many people in this country will have just heard that child sexual abuse is rampant, but they don't believe it is there. So that information is necessary. So that's one of the objectives that we do. Child protection is advocating for child rights. We initiated the establishment of the multidisciplinary team in Lusaka. And this is a team which comprises the several key players in the management of either GBV itself, where husband or partners involved in violence.
Statistically, as an organization, would you be able to give us something that we could relate with in terms of numbers in your activities out there in the community as regards child abuse and abandonment?
When we visited the Pediatric Center of Excellence, the one-stop center, and we're given these figures, it hurt us so much that Lusaka, for instance, with its one-stop center located at the UTH, handles not less than 4 cases, 4 newly identified cases of children who have been molested. If you escalate that to monthly basis, you'll be talking about 120 cases in a month. Multiply that by 12, it will give you an idea of how many children are molested. So as you say, this is a tip of the iceberg. Meaning that there are many, many cases out there that are not known, that need the attention of anyone at all who has the right of the child at heart. These are huge numbers. But much more so, it's the trauma that the child goes through upon being abused.
We know that parents play a critical role in the upbringing of the child in a safer environment. Kindly maybe explain this safe environment that the parents have to provide for the child.
It's a very important question you have asked. As my age mates were growing up, we grew up in an environment where there was always an adult that looked after us. There was always an adult who took care. Unfortunately, the world today has been so materialistic that the care of children has been left to workers, either the teacher or the maid or the house boy. Okay, now what has this presented? What problem has this presented to society in respect of child neglect, child abuse, and that sort of thing? It's because the parent is hardly there. Mother and father are out there busy chasing financial resources to look after themselves. That is the detriment of the care and protection of the child. In many of the cases that we have come across, many of the children that are abused either by a relative who just sits home and is doing nothing, all right, or a houseboy, a servant, or a neighbor. Now those situations occur because there is no oversight. No one is checking on where is this child at this particular time. In the locations that we have operated in, we're talking about in Lusaka, we're talking about Kalingalinga, Mtendere, Chawama, Kanyama. We have come across children late in the evening who have been sent to go and buy cooking oil or salt. Late in the evening, and this is a little child who is 4 or 5 years old. Okay? Where is the parent? Why shouldn't the parent be concerned about the safety of this child that is being sent out into the dark? We have had situations where children are sent to buy beer. As you know that many of our compounds have these drinking places in the neighborhood. And we have situations like that. What guarantee is there that this child who has been sent either to a market, which is intervened by a bar, is going to be safe in between here? And so our appeal has always been, parents, know where your child is at all times. To borrow from our friends in Europe, we have had interactions with our friends in Sweden, for instance. It is an offense to find a child walking all by himself or herself. The parent is going to be arrested. But how much of that do we see here? Late in the evening or any other part of the day, you find children as young as 2, 3, 4, 5 playing late in the evening on their own without anyone really overseeing them. So it is a responsibility. It's a God-given responsibility that the offspring that God has blessed us with is taken care from the time they are born up to the time when they leave our homes. So the parent has this responsibility, irrespective of the fact that we must find money to feed, to clothe, to take to school and that sort of thing. But the child has the right to be taken care of. That is very important. That's an important message that I would like to take out to parents in all the areas that we operate from.
Thank you. Now, as we come to the end of our show, Mr. Malaya, what advice would you have to parents out there, and as regards to their relationship with their children, and how they can notice if their child is going through a moment of abuse which they cannot open up to their parents?
It's a very important point that parents should observe negative effects of abuse. And a parent who knows his or her child will notice a certain degree of fear that has suddenly come into the child. Okay? If this child is a girl and has been abused by a man, they will naturally be afraid of men. Okay? The other point is that they will close in. They will withdraw. So there's that withdrawal symptom that is going to be seen. They are going to develop shame and won't be able to speak out. In school, for those that are in school, the performance in school is going to go down. And now it becomes the responsibility of the teacher to notice that a child that has been performing well in class, all of a sudden something doesn't seem to be going right. So the teacher has the responsibility now to find out, why has this particular child, has the performance gone down? Okay, so those are all symptoms that are there for either parents or teachers to notice. So my advice, which my team bring out to the community as we move around, and indeed for anyone who is going to be watching this, is that as much as possible, know where your child is, get to appreciate certain negative changes that begin to show in your child. That should trigger, that should raise the red flag. So it's my appeal that for us to prevent further abuse of children, I do pray that at some point the desire, the drive for materials is going to come second to the need to provide emotional care and presence for the children.
Thank you very much, Mr. Malaya. Now, if there are viewers out there that want to get in touch with you, then how can they get through to you?
We are located at the Pop Square at the youth department. So if anyone, for whatever reason, visited the Pop Square in Long Acres and came to the youth department, they'll find either myself or any of our staff.
Thank you very much, Mr. Malaya, for joining us on this show and for giving us the wonderful information that you've given us on child protection.
I'm grateful that you gave me this opportunity. The pleasure is mine.
Thank you. Well, we have come to the end of our show. On behalf of the production crew, you have been with me, Jackson Walia, on the Life Matters show, and we have been discussing child protection. Till next time, it's goodbye, and please protect the child.